Welcome to the winter workshop. This is the basement, and this is my solar panel. Let me put the copy down. This is a 15-watt SunForce solar panel. It comes in a set of 4, and the issue that I found was that the solder joints broke in them, and 3 of them went down. This is the final one, and she went down. Right now, even though I am down in the basement, I should be able to take my light, bring it over to the panel, and I should get some sort of a reading on it. And I am not getting any sort of a reading. So I know I've got something wrong going on here. Alright, this is the back side of the panel. Most all solar panels do have a way of getting into them. This one in particular has got a few dozen screws mounted around the side, and I'll just unscrew all these babies, loosen back up the back side of it so I can get into her, and we'll retest the panel from inside. Okay, the panel's now unscrewed. Typically this will be some sort of sealant put in between to help keep it waterproof. But what I found with these is that the sealant is pretty small. A little bit of twisting and working. I can typically get this, at least on the other ones. Yeah, this one's coming off too pretty simply. Alright, so the back is right off of it. You can see the sealant that was put on there. Yeah, you can. It didn't take very well, so when I do reassemble this thing, I will work the sealant back in. Put this back frame away. There are plenty of breaks within the sealant here, and I can already see part of the problem is that wire's not even connected. So there's the solder joint. There's where it was happening. And what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to knife through this, and I'm going to cut this sealant so that I can free it from the front panel. Well, since it was stuck on pretty good on the front side, I opted to just clear myself back far enough, and I've got a couple of shims in here propping the panel up. And I very carefully cleared away the caulking from where the 2 points of connection are on the panel. You need to be real careful here, because if you cut that back or knock that thing off in any sort of a way, it's going to be a little tough getting a solder point back to it. So it is be very, very careful. So I'm just going to come right in here, get at this lead, and try and get a drop on it. Got something to connect to. And boy, I'm seeing some goo. Yeah, I didn't clean it. Didn't clean it quite good enough, it looks like. I need to get back at it and clean it some more. Well, this panel has presented an even greater problem. This is one of those that the little solder lead is gone. She came off right at the panel. I even went the panel upside down here in my light right up next to me here. I'm getting a little bit of light underneath, and it does give me a voltage read. I come across it, I still got good contact going on in here. And I do have one more product that I'm going to try. I've had some luck with conductive epoxies. I did on eBay purchase some silver paint, I just haven't got it yet. Conductive silver paint. And from what I'm understanding is you get a little bit of that on there, and then you've got your solder point back. Man, I'd really like to have that right now. So I'd have a solder joint versus an epoxy joint. But I've got this opened up. I'd like this panel running again. I'm going to go get the epoxy and go for it. Now what I did do while the camera was off, and I hate putting the sandpaper to it, but I realized that the lug is gone. So if the lug is gone, or the little solder point is gone, then it's time to really clean it up. So I did take some fine sandpaper and I did scuff it and try and get everything I possibly could out of there. I've got a pretty good read on it right now. We'll go get the epoxy, we're going to give that a try and see what we get. Okay, just got done reading the instructions on the wire glue, and I'll tell you, if the stuff works anywhere near as good as how hard it was to open the frickin' thing, I'm pretty impressed. It is quite loose. It says to apply with a toothpick. Stir it up a little bit. Let's see what I get out of this. It also says not to leave it out in the air for too long. Wipe off a bit of this. We have a bunch of goop in there. And let's see. That's what we get. Now, the other stuff I used was an epoxy. This is a straightforward glue. Right down into that whole area. I was getting the great contact from. Push this right in there. And what the heck? I'm going to coat it a little bit. Press it a little bit for a bond. Stuff's a little loose. Seems to be kind of cool. The other stuff I did use, like I said, was a true epoxy. It was a two-part. It tended to corrode a bit on me. This I got from eBay. Let me show you that. It's called Good Helper wire glue. Never used this before. It'll be interesting to see how well it works. So since I'm a human clamp at the moment, I'll come back to this once she dries and we'll do a test on her and see if I can get anywhere near. Flipped upside down like this, so it's reading 0.43 of a volt. So if I can get that with this in there, I'll be impressed. Okay, it's been another hour. I pulled the tape off of holding the connection onto it. I left the tape holding the wire onto it. And the glue actually does seem to have stuck to the panel pretty good. Yeah, I'll take that back. I can chip it off pretty easily. Yeah, I can chip it off pretty easily. So I'm not considering this glue to be a great repair item. But what I did find is that it's got good conductivity. I rose the reading that I was getting off of the panel. I had read 0.43 with the panel being upside down like this earlier, and now I can read 0.107. Yeah, it shows pretty nicely right there. Okay. Oh, wow, jumped up a little bit. Well, that's cool. So it's showing that I have a good contact with this. I am not psyched about this glue. I am looking forward to getting that silver conductive paint here. Hopefully it arrives fairly soon. So I'm considering this to be a temporary fix. I will get the panel back out there. I'll get it up and running so that it is supplying my UPS and getting the batteries back up. But I will come back to this. So if I was to close this up permanently, I would lay it, I would add some silicone along the edges, lay it back down, get the wires back in tight all the way through here, silicone all that back up, make sure my connections are heavily siliconed, and then close the whole thing back up. I want to make sure it gets sealed. The one thing I have found with most of these epoxies is that if you don't seal it, they do corrode. Sorry, the repair did not go as clean as I wanted. I didn't get it there, but I'll post another one when I get the silver paint, and we can actually bring this thing up full. Okay, it was fun, guys. I hope it helped.